Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we'll continue with our first unit, which is titled Complaints. Our lesson today is the reading lesson in your books, page 12 and 13. All you need for the lesson today is your books, page 12 and 13, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started. From the previous lesson, which was the conversation lesson, you had a homework that to imagine if you were the salesperson position. You are a salesperson, someone is coming to you, they want to return an item back. It's not defective, it was all right, but they didn't like the style. It could be something that is trendy, her son or her daughter have got, and she didn't like it. What would you do? Would you try to convince them that this is the latest style, it's a good one? Or you will just give them their money back? I believe it's a good idea to tell them that this is a new style. Then, if they insisted, you can give them their money back. But it's part of your job to tell them what is new. Okay, for today's lesson, by the end of today's lesson, you will be able to read the text on Murphy's Law, answer some questions on the reading text, and you will recognize some new vocabulary. It's all about reading, new vocab, and answering some questions. Let's get started. Let me ask you this question. Do you believe that some people are simply unlucky? Usually we hear people who say, I am an unlucky person, or I met someone who's unlucky. They are always in bad situations and bad things happen to them. Do you believe that some people are simply unlucky? If you say yes, why? Why they are unlucky? And if you say no, are there some people why bad things happen to them? Okay, let's read the situation. A 22-year-old guy has been driving for 5 years, but he has already been involved in 6 car accidents. Does he simply have bad luck? Or are there other factors that might have caused him to have so many accidents? What do you think? Within 5 years, he had 6 accidents. Why do you think so? Is he an unlucky person? He's going through bad times. Do you think so? I believe maybe he is driving recklessly. He doesn't know how to drive. Or it might be a problem with the road that he's taking, a problem with the car that he's using, or maybe he has taken it for granted. He's not paying attention to the road. People have to think about other factors before you depend on the idea of being unlucky. How about here? Let's read this one and tell me, do you agree? If anything can go wrong, it might go wrong. Do you think so? If anything, let's say, this one could break, it will break. Do you think so? If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. Do you agree? You will say, yes, bad things will always happen to us. Or you will say, it could be, but we're not going to depend on that. Let's read, and after reading, you will give a good decision. At the beginning in your books, page 12 and 13, scan through the text and answer the following. What is the title for our text? You will find it in a big font, larger font, on page 12. It is actually Murphy's Law. It is about Murphy's Law. Notice that the M and the L are in capital because it is the title. How many paragraphs do we have? We're having 4 paragraphs, and on page 13 we're having a very short one, which is a clarification about the law. So let's say they are 5. Then what do the pictures show? Let's look at the pictures on page 13 and 12. We're having a toast falling, so a toast flipping. Here we're having the top side, the bottom, then flipping until the floor. We're having a traffic light, and it is on red traffic light, as well as a TV with no signal that is not, we're having lines, it's not working. TV that doesn't work. Okay, Let's get started with the first paragraph on page 12. Murphy's Law. What is the main idea of the paragraph? You will listen and tell about one thing. So you're reading for comprehension. No details, just the main idea. What is this paragraph about? Let's listen to the first paragraph.
Murphy's Law. You invite your friends over to watch a final football match on TV. There are plenty of juices in the refrigerator. You have bowls filled with your favorite snacks on the table, and you are all set to watch the big match. You turn on the TV set, and all you get are fuzzy images on the screen. Could this be Murphy's Law at work? Murphy's Law states, if anything can go wrong, it might go wrong.
So what is the main idea in this paragraph? It's actually usually the first paragraph is an introductory paragraph. It introduces Murphy's Law. It states if anything can go wrong, it might go wrong. So the TV can break down, it will break down. And it was introduced with the idea you're ready and very excited for the football match to watch on TV. You're ready to, you have already invited your friends. Everyone is there. However, TV is not working. If anything can go wrong, it might go wrong. How about the second paragraph? Let's listen and you will tell what is the main idea of the paragraph.
Similar situations occur all the time. When you're in a hurry to open the door and you try several keys on the key ring, the last remaining key is usually the one that works. When you're late meeting your friends and they're all waiting for you at the mall, all the traffic lights are red. When you get in a line at the supermarket, you find you've chosen the slowest one, and it just doesn't move. Is this bad luck or coincidence? According to British physicist Robert Matthews, it's neither one nor the other. He explains that our selective memories tend to remember the bad episodes more readily than the things that usually work out. Also, the law of probability is more against us than in our favor in many situations. For example, in the supermarket with 5 cashiers, the chances of getting the fastest lane are 20%, and 80% for a slower lane.
So what is the paragraph about? The main idea in this paragraph? It's about Robert Matthews' explanations. We're having at the beginning 3 examples. It's not only the TV that doesn't work. Sometimes if you're having like the keychain, you're having maybe 4 keys, you will try 1, 2, 3, then the last one is going to work. Is it bad luck? Then they give the example when you are at the traffic light and you are too busy and you want to catch up maybe a flight or you want to meet friends. However, the traffic light is red, it's not green, and it is very crowded and you will be late. Then they give the example of the supermarket line. The line that you will choose, if we're having like 5 lines, you will choose maybe the second one. This is the slowest line. Is it bad luck? Then we have here Robert Matthew, a British scientist. He said that we're having 2 explanations for that. What are they? It will never be bad luck. Number 1, which is the idea of we only remember, our minds are selective and we only remember bad things that happen. We will never remember when the time that I got the key and the first key was the one that will open, and you will never remember when you got into a line and it was very fast. These are the things that you will never remember. However, you will remember bad events, bad episodes. Also, also the idea of the probability, the law of probability. If you were having 5 lines, then the chance of going into the fastest one is 1 to 5. It means it is 20% out of 80. At 80, the chance of getting into the slowest is, let's say, 80%, and the chance of going to the fastest is only 20. So it is never bad luck. Can people believe that? If people are going through a bad day, they will say it's never the law of probability, never the, let's say, never it is our minds. The following paragraph in here, what is the main idea? Let's listen.
Matthews became a popular scientist when he proved that a piece of toast doesn't necessarily fall on the floor on the buttered side. BBC television gathered 300 people to throw pieces of buttered toast up in the air and observe on which side they fell. Half fell on the buttered side, and half didn't.
So the main idea in this paragraph, it is about Matthews trying to prove his point. So Matthews' experiment. What did he do? Usually people will say when we're having a toast, then we will have peanut butter on one side, then you will flip it, you will toss it, it will fall on the buttered side. So just like the picture in here, it will fall on the buttered side. However, he will say no, this is the law of probability. And he came up with 300 person and gave them buttered toast, and all of them toss it, throw it in the air, and 150 fell on the buttered side, and 150, half and half, the other half fell on the unbuttered side. So he proved that it is the law of probability, it's never bad luck. But our minds are selective and will never remember when it fell on the unbuttered side. Okay, the following, paragraph number 4. What is the main idea in this paragraph? Let's listen.
Just remember that you cannot blame Murphy's Law for everything that goes wrong. If the hot water runs out while you're taking a shower, it's probably because the hot water heater needs to be fixed. If you miss the bus and are late getting to school, it's probably because you didn't wake up early enough. And if you lose all your files on the computer, let's be honest, it's your fault for not having a backup of your files.
So the main idea of this last paragraph is about who to blame. Is it our luck? Is it bad luck that we're going through? Or is it Murphy's Law? Actually, if you are out of hot water in the bathtub, it might be because you didn't fix the water heater. Maybe you didn't pay the bills. If you miss the bus, it's not because of bad luck. It might be because you stayed up late yesterday, or you overslept today or this morning. And even if you lose all your documents within your computer, it's never bad luck. It is because you didn't make a copy or a backup copy of on your computer. So never blame your luck or the situations. Always try to find justification, or it would be the law of probability. However, who's here? What words or underline the sentences that talk about something that went wrong? What are the examples that were given in the text about things that didn't go as planned? Like what? Like the line. Let's start with them one by one. In here, fuzzy images on the TV screen. You invited your friends because you are all going to watch the football match, the final football match. Everything is ready. However, we're having fuzzy image. The TV doesn't work. Is it bad luck? It could be because you didn't pay for the bills. It is because you didn't make a backup for your computer. The latest remaining key is usually the one that works. A key ring, we're having many keys. The last one, I will try 1, 2, 3. Always the last one is the key that is going to open the door for me or unlock the door for me. Is it that I am unlucky? It happens to everyone. You choose the slowest line in the supermarket. When we're having many lines at the supermarket, the line that you're standing on, this is the slowest line. Is it because you're having a bad luck? It's not really. Also, the hot water runs out while you're having a shower. No hot water within the shower. Also, the car breaks down on the way to a job interview. You are going to a job interview, however, your car breaks down because you haven't checked it. Losing all your files on your computer. When you lose your files on your computer, we will blame, always try to find the reason. It's not always bad luck, it's not the situations. We can refer always that something that I haven't done before. Maybe I haven't backed up my computer, I haven't did my homework myself, I haven't woken up earlier today. Speaking about Murphy's Law, if we're speaking Murphy, it is actually a name. So who is Murphy? Let's listen and tell me about the main idea of the paragraph. Let's listen.
Captain Edward A. Murphy. Captain Edward A. Murphy, Jr. was an engineer at Edwards Air Force Base in the United States. In 1949, he was working on a machine to measure the heartbeat and breathing of pilots. But something was malfunctioning in the equipment as the result of human error. Murphy blamed the lab technician and said, "If there is any way to do it wrong, he will." One person's failure can bring a whole project crashing down. And Murphy's view was that some failure or something negative will typically happen. Murphy's phrase became popular in all areas to explain the failures of everyday things.
So, this paragraph is actually about the story behind Murphy's Law. He's actually an engineer at Edwards Air Force Base, and he wasn't a pilot, he was checking the heart rate for the pilots so that he will check about their health. However, the device or the machine that he's using malfunctioned. It means it was out of order, it didn't work, and he said, if anything can go wrong, it might go wrong. So there is a higher chance of bad things to happen. And the saying became very viral and popular, and they called it Murphy's Law. If anything could go wrong, it might go wrong. We're having the word like when we say malfunctioning, the introductory, when you introduce a word with mal, it means bad. Malfunctioning, it means it works badly or didn't work. Like malnutrition, we're having here a bad diet. Malnourished, someone who is not eating well. Maltreat, not treating someone well. Maladjusted, not adjusted in a well way. How about malodor? The idea of odor, it means we're having a bad smell, something that smells bad, malodor. Okay, let's check this word. We're having episode. We're having an episode is the event. In all fours, on 4 feet. A backup, it's a copy of your computer. Also, malfunctioning, as we have mentioned, the idea of mal means bad. Here, not working correctly the way you want it to do. Let's try to use these words. The episode, malfunctioning, backup, on all fours. The final of my favorite series will be on TV tomorrow. The final episode, events. The baby was crawling about on all fours, on his feet and his hands. Make a of any work you do on your computer. Make a copy or a backup. The machine made a loud clanking noise, the malfunctioning, because it is not working the right way. Malfunctioning, not working in a good way. Now, after reading in your book's page 13, what does the example of the final football match illustrate? The example is, you invite your friends over to an NBA basketball playoff game on TV. There are plenty of sodas in the refrigerator. The popcorn is popping and you are all set to watch the big game. You turn on TV set and all you get are fuzzy images on the screen. Why we're having this example? Here, this one is, things seem to go wrong precisely the wrong time. So we are always having some time to fix the TV. However, when I am waiting for the final match, it's not the good time. When I'm having friends at my place, it's not the good time. Then, what does Murphy's law state? Here, the law states, if anything can go wrong, it might go wrong. You will find it in the first paragraph. So it is, if anything can go wrong, it will. Number 3, according to Robert Matthews, what does the law of probability work against us in the supermarket line? He said in here, in the supermarket with 5 cashiers, the chances of getting the fastest line are 20% and 80% for the slower lane. So the answer is, because the chances of getting the fastest lane are not high. If there are 5 lines, our chance of getting the slower lane is 80%. Because we're having 4 are slow and 1 is fast. So 4 to 1. Why did Matthews do a butter bread experiment with the 300 people? What did it show? We will find it in this text. Matthew became a popular scientist when he proved that a piece of toast doesn't necessarily fall on the floor on the buttered side. So he wanted to show that although people think that bad things always happen, things happen according to the law of probability. If you throw a buttered toast, there is a chance 1 to 1. One time it will fall on the buttered side, the other time, so 50% it will fall on the buttered side and the other one on the unbuttered one. So it's not bad luck, it is actually the law of probability, maybe this or that. After reading about Murphy's law, if anything can go wrong, it might go wrong. Do you still agree that it is, if anything can go wrong, it might go wrong? For me, I believe in the law of probability. It's never bad luck. It is, we haven't backed up our computers, we have woken up late, or it is the idea that we haven't taken precautions. We can speak about the idea of being an optimistic person or a pessimist person. Optimistic, looking at the bright side of life. Or you will say, he is an optimistic person and he's looking at the dark side of things. If anything bad happens to you, just try to find justification. Why did this happen to me? Maybe because you started your day in a bad way. For your homework, just think about and reflect. Have you ever been through a series of unlucky events? We all have been through it. What are the bad events that happened to you? Then, do you say that you are an unlucky person, or how can you explain it? If we're going through a very bad day, how can you explain that? Just think about it, okay? I guess that is it for the lesson today, and thank you so much for your time.